Sometimes I feel like the luckiest guy alive. I love so many things about riding a bike. I love the flow as a bob and weave through the single track. I love the sounds, the crunch of the pine needles under my tyres. The freedom, the liberating sense of freedom I get from being on a bike is something that I don't get in everyday life. I'm so thankful to have found mountain biking because I spent far too much time as a child in accident and emergency getting my head stitched up because I kept falling off of a BMX. I have all the willpower but none of the talent or skills, and mountain bikes came along just at the perfect time for me back in the mid-80s. The funny thing is, I don't come from an outdoorsy kind of background. As a 13 or 14-year-old, I was introduced to the mountains through an Outward Bound course. I didn't even know what I'd signed up for. Me and my best mate, Keith McClellan, got all our best gear, packed in rucksacks and disappeared on the train up to Fort William, thinking it was going to be 2 weeks partying without our parents watching over our shoulders.
We were so far off the mark, it was ridiculous. I'd slip on lattice white shoes to go to Outward Bound. It was a nonsense. We thought it was going to be a 10-day holiday and it was going to be just great, crisps, juice, pool, music, girls. And it was totally different to that. It was nothing, there was none of those things.
Unbeknownst to us, we were immersed in mountain survival skills, roping up, raft building, how to cook, how not to freeze to death.
You felt you were a million miles away from anything, which was amazing.
I hated every second of it, if I'm honest. Now I reflect on that experience as though it happened yesterday. And it was one of the biggest turning points in my life. That introduction to Scotland's landscape and the outdoors has never ever left me.
Andy went off and built a successful mountain biking holiday company, tour company, and I went into the sort of retail side of it and the repair side of it. So I now run an independent bike shop in Scotland.
When mountain bikes arrived, that was suddenly the vehicle, that was the tool that allowed me to get in about this wonderful place that we are fortunate to call home, to get in about the Scottish mountains. And I want to do that forever. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
He looks fine, he looks like he's just getting on with his life, but I love to do big journeys, I love to go out on adventures. That's what brought us two together. But that's the thing that isn't there, and that I've been struggling as a result of that, and he's been struggling too.
I don't want to bore anyone with the not so glamorous, not so pretty parts of my life, but it's hard not to talk about multiple sclerosis. I've got MS, so what? But for me and anyone that is aware of MS, it's a mountain biker's worst nightmare.
He gets hot, and when he gets hot, it triggers his symptoms. And so his legs don't work, and his right arm doesn't work, and you know it takes him to a place he doesn't really want to be.
MS is a neurodegenerative disease affecting the optic nerves and the spinal cord. It can rob you of all the things that you really need to be competent on a mountain bike. Your ability to think and process and react to all that stuff that we love about mountain biking, the changes in terrain, and that's no longer the way it used to be for me. My balance became very unreliable. I can't always feel my hands on the grips or on the brakes. I don't have a great feeling through the soles of my feet, and you realise how much you rely on these things to be able to ride technical terrain, which I thrived on. But thankfully, the thing that's never gone away is the sheer joy of getting up a hill. Walking can be really erratic for me nowadays, and that's what makes riding bikes extra special. The feeling that I have of movement, to be able to still ride fast and sometimes relatively fluidly, to be able to move the way I do on the bike, it's not the same as it used to be, but it's still enough.
Things have changed. And you know why they've changed? Because of e-bikes. E-bikes are an amazing thing.
To have that assist on the climbs to keep my core temperature at a manageable level when the signals just aren't getting through, to actually have that little bit of an extra boost is fantastic. The e-bike has been an absolute game changer for me.
Now me and Andy can do the things that we couldn't do together. We can go out and ride for hours. He's not getting too hot. He's just, you know, he's absolutely loving being on his bike again. And that just brings so much joy and happiness to both of us.
It's a game changer. We all say it's a game changer. All my friends that are biking and starting to ride the e-bikes now are all the same. They're all like, this is just the best. Why wouldn't you do it? You know, there's a bit of pride in, oh, I'm not old enough or whatever. It's nonsense. The second you start riding it, you go, oh, right. What, you don't want to have more fun? Really? Of course you do. Get on an e-bike. It does the same thing for him. It brings him more fun, more joy, more happiness. It brings a bit of sunshine into the shit sandwich he's been dealt.
I remember being called a cheat when I was out riding my bike with Anila, and she was on her normal mountain bike, and this guy shouted at me, "Look at you cheating!" And I just stopped on the trail, and it made me chuckle. I just looked at him and I said, "Are you wearing shoes, mate?" And he kind of looked at me a bit perplexed. He's like, what's your problem? I said, "I've no problem at all. You're wearing shoes, you've got a watch on, you're wearing some really nice outdoor clothing." He's like, what are you getting at? I was like, it's all part of an evolution, my friend. Everybody can enjoy this. Sure, I might be looking at this through the lens of someone with MS, but I'm having so much fun. Why can't everyone?
The whole point of why we married each other is because we just love to go out and ride bikes and go on adventures together. That's what we've always done. That just makes us who we are. And we're back on adventures. We're totally back on adventures.
My radius on a mountain bike was getting smaller. The walls were starting to cave in for me. The e-bikes opened that radius up again. I'm back out in the mountains. Everybody knows the endorphins you get from being out on the bike. It just lifts your spirits, it does everything. But e-bikes meant that Andy could get back out with all of us again. It brings us all back together again. You know, because we could have been out on our bikes, Andy wouldn't have been joining us. And now I'm getting Andy back. It's opened that door again.
where the door might have been getting closed.
It's bought me time to keep on mountain biking, to keep on exploring, to keep on getting to these places that I thought I had lost. I love mountain biking again.
Our feet were fashioned around